Light. Oh, I never thought I'd say this, but I've missed you. I've missed you, Arizona Sunshine.
To set expectations right away, Arizona Sunshine is a very simple game. There is no engaging story, there are no interesting characters, there's no crafting, there are no upgrade and progression systems. It is just you, your guns, and hordes of zombies. And it is a bloody good time. In March 2016, Oculus VR ushered in a new age of gaming. Well, sort of, with the release of their Oculus Rift CV1 headset. Among the first studios to make use of their tech were the Netherlands-based Vertigo Games, who previously made some not so successful adventure games for the flat screen. Their first venture into VR was an instant hit though. Arizona Sunshine, a full-blown VR co-op zombie shooter, showed the world that there's a lot of potential in virtual reality for gaming. At that time still very undeveloped potential. Fast forward a couple of years to 2023, Vertigo Games, who in the meantime have established themselves as one of the major players in the VR gaming scene as developer and publisher, decided to go back to where it all started and release a sequel to their iconic zombie shooter. VR has changed a lot in these short years, on the hardware and the software side, resulting in games that are a lot more immersive and less prone to making your motion sick. Arizona Sunshine 2 thus improved on the original game in every single aspect, to at least critical success. On all of that, all the improved systems for the sequel have now found their way back into the original game. Arizona Sunshine Remake has it all. Big guns, dumb jokes, and lots of freddies. I missed you, Arizona Sunshine.
Hey, Fred, get off my lawn, pal.
Under the scorching sun of the southwest, you follow a fading radio signal in the hopes of finding other survivors. But you'll have to get past Fred. And Fred. And Fred. And all of those freddies over there. To make that happen, you'll make use of a giant arsenal of guns. Different pistols, revolvers, shotguns, SMGs, rifles, you name it. It's a ridiculous amount of weapons you can find here. Too many you could say, as there is not really a difference between all of those rifles. But is there really such a thing as too many guns? I think not, so it's fine. Unfortunately, you can only carry 2 small and 1 big weapon at a time. More than once I wanted to grab and try a new weapon, but would not do it because I did not want to abandon the one I was fond of. Her name is Matilda. That made me a bit sad. Weapons all feel great to use though. I felt that some could do with a bit more kick, especially two-handed rifles. The game tells you to stabilize with your offhand, but that did not seem to make a difference to me. I was one-handing those no problem. But as much fun as it is to shoot a zombie point blank in the face with a shotgun, isn't it even more fun to bash in zombie skulls with a shovel? I agree, and Vertigo Games also agree, so they put shovels in the game and a whole bunch of other melee weapons. Unfortunately, they are all made in the US, so they break after a couple of hits. It's a very simple melee combat system, but it's strangely satisfying as the weapons all have great feel and hit feedback. It's a big improvement to the original Arizona Sunshine at any rate, as that game had no melee combat at all. When you are not shooting or pummeling freddies, you'll be scavenging for loot. If the game taught me one thing, it is that there's nothing better for your health than moldy pizza.
Hey, Fred, what you doing? Chilling?
Followed closely by the occasional bratwurst. Mainly though, you'll be scavenging for ammo. There's small ammo for small guns, big ammo for big guns, shells for shotguns, and grenades for grenade guns. But there's only one place in the game where those spawn. This is a strictly linear shooter. In a bit too predictable fashion, you'll go through areas with low zombie density, mainly to stock up on ammo and explosives, until you inevitably come to a confined arena where you'll have to fend off a big horde. And by big, I mean huge. You'll be literally wading through corpses, or parts of corpses, courtesy of the messy new dismemberment system that made the jump from the sequel. In these confined spaces, the game's difficulty spikes and you'll be dumping all of your resources into Fred until none are left to come or you get overwhelmed. Don't forget your grenades, you'll need them. If you survive, the pattern repeats until the game is done. There are 4 difficulty settings to choose from. I was playing on survival. I found that to be perfectly tuned for me. I never ran out of ammo, but it often came close, so was constantly encouraged to search every nook and cranny for some more bullets, which gave the game a bit of an exploration aspect despite its very linear nature. I enjoyed that. You'll also find a gaggle of masks and other headwear, useless when playing solo, but you can do a bit of on-the-run customization if you play with a friend. Co-op is for sure a big selling point for the game. You can play through the whole campaign with a friend. I tried, but nobody wanted to be my friend. Sad times. That was the first weekend after release, so if you plan on playing in co-op, you'll have to bring your own friend. There is crossplay, that's good, but that also means that the lobby screen will look equally empty on the Quest or the PSVR 2, unfortunately. I was playing the Steam version, by the way. Performance was a bit rough for me, but I'm just a poor boy, I can't afford a new graphics card. I was playing on an RTX 2070 Super here, which is absolutely playable, but I had to turn down the graphics settings quite a bit to make it work. There really isn't much for me to complain about. Yes, it's a very simple, a very linear game, but that's kind of refreshing, to be honest. It's dumb fun, and I mean that in the very best way. The only thing I would mention here is that it's pretty short. My playthrough took about 6 hours, and that was taking it slow with very thorough exploration. The 2 DLC of the original game are included in this package. Both are campaign expansions, which are pretty good, I thought. They do the same thing, but in a bit of a different environment, and they are getting progressively more dark and serious in contrast to the very light-hearted tone of the main game. The Dam took me about 2 hours, Dead Man is shorter, 40 minutes or so. There's also the up to 4-player horde mode. I tried that a little bit, but found it not very engaging. You just kill waves of zombies in a small arena until you get overwhelmed. There's not much to it. Well, there you have it. We are looking at 8 to 10 hours of campaign gameplay, including the DLC plus the horde mode. If you own the original game, you can get an upgrade for 10 bucks. I think that's a great deal. I mean, it's the same game, you won't get anything really new here, but it just plays so much better. Perfect time for a second playthrough. If you don't own the original, it's 30 bucks, up to you if you think that's a fair price for the content you get here. I think it is. After all, Arizona Sunshine Remake is a bloody good time. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful. Vertigo Games have already a new potential hit lined up for an early November release, Metro Awakening. I'm absolutely going to cover that here on the channel, so subscribe or you might miss it, and we wouldn't want that, would we now? Bye.